orchids can be tricky plants to grow at home. They look gorgeous in the shop, those majestic blooms practically bewitching you. So you bring a couple home, proudly display them, but then a couple of weeks later, the flowers fall off and they never come back, leaving you with just a pot of leaves and those alien-looking roots. But today, we're gonna change that. Now, the first thing is knowing what you're actually dealing with. Not every struggling orchid has the same problem, and treating them all the same way is one of the biggest mistakes people make. This orchid is actually in pretty decent shape overall. The leaves are healthy, the roots have some life in them, but there are a few things holding it back. First, these dried out roots. They're dead weight, pulling energy away from the rest of the plant. And second, this flower spike. It's been sitting here refusing to do anything. No new buds, no blooms, nothing. An old, spent flower spike can actually prevent your orchid from sending out a brand new one. So before we do anything else, we need to deal with both of these things first.
But see this bottom half of the spike? It's still green, still firm, still very much alive. That means it still has nodes on it that could wake up and develop into a brand new flower spike, or even a baby orchid.
And we're going to repeat the exact same process with this other orchid over here. Same idea. Find where the spike has finished blooming, identify where the green and the life still is, and make your cut there. But keep in mind, every orchid is slightly different, and the more you do this, the better your eye gets at reading what the plant is telling you. But the principle stays the same. Remove what's done, keep what still has potential. So let's move on to our solution. And the first ingredient is a banana. But what we actually need here is not the flesh itself, it's the skin. So go ahead and peel it and set the banana aside for yourself. Now take that skin and cut it into small pieces. You don't need to be too precise here, just small enough that we can work with it in the next step. Banana peel is absolutely loaded with potassium, phosphorus, and magnesium, three of the most important nutrients for encouraging an orchid to rebloom. Potassium in particular is like a direct signal to the plant to start producing flowers. Then, pack all those pieces into a jar or container. Moving on to our next ingredient, eggshells. If you've been throwing these away after cooking, you're gonna wanna stop doing that after today. Take your eggshells and crush them down into small, crumb-sized pieces. Eggshells are pure calcium carbonate, and calcium plays a huge role in orchid health that most people completely overlook. It strengthens cell walls, supports root development, and helps the plant actually absorb the other nutrients we're giving it more effectively. Then take those crushed eggshells and pack them right into the same jar as your banana pieces. Then fill the entire jar up with warm water. You want everything fully submerged, so every piece is contributing to the solution. Then seal the jar, then let it sit for a while. After around an hour, go ahead and strain everything out. What you're left with is a clean, nutrient-rich natural fertilizer that's packed with everything your orchid needs to start thinking about reblooming. Potassium, phosphorus, magnesium, calcium, all extracted naturally, all ready to go straight to work on your plant. To start, using a soft tissue or cotton pad that's soaked into the solution, we're going to use it to wipe down every single leaf, top and bottom. Work your way through each leaf slowly and deliberately. The top of the leaf is important, but pay extra attention to the underside because that is where the plant absorbs moisture and nutrients most effectively. Most people never flip the leaf over, and they wonder why they're not seeing results. As you wipe, you're doing two things at once: cleaning off any dust, bacteria, or residue that's been blocking the leaf surface, and feeding the plant directly through the leaves with all those nutrients we just extracted. Wipe every single leaf. Don't skip any. And don't forget about our other orchid over here. Give it exactly the same treatment. Every leaf, top and bottom, nice and thorough. Regularly wiping your orchid leaves does more for the plant's health than most people realize. It keeps the leaf surface clear so light can penetrate properly. And better light absorption means better photosynthesis, which means more energy for the plant to put towards new roots, new growth, and eventually those blooms. Next, pour a good portion of the solution into a spray bottle. Then, go ahead and mist across the entire plant. Leaves, stem, roots, all of it. Misting gets into all the little spaces and crevices that you can't easily reach with a tissue. The base of the leaves where they meet the stem, the aerial roots, and the nodes on that flower spike we kept earlier are all getting a fine coating of our banana and eggshell solution. Those nodes on the spike are particularly important to hit because that potassium is essentially knocking on the door of those dormant buds, telling them it's time to wake up. So be generous with the misting. Get right in there and make sure nothing gets missed. And while we're doing this, what country are you watching this from? Drop it in the comments. I genuinely love seeing where everyone is tuning in from. It's honestly one of my favorite parts of making these videos. And finally, take the remaining solution you have left and water it directly into the base of the plant. Pour it in slowly and evenly. You want it to work its way all the way down through the medium and reach every part of the root system. This is where the deep feeding happens. Everything we've been applying on the outside, we're now delivering straight to the roots from the inside. What actually gets results is consistency. Applying this solution once every 2 weeks is all it takes. Your orchid isn't going to rebloom overnight. Last but not least, take a clean, dry tissue and give the whole plant one final wipe down. Leaves, stem, everywhere we misted and wiped earlier. Remember, we want the plant to be moist, not soaking wet. If water is sitting in droplets, pooling at the base of the leaves, or collecting in the crown of the plant, that is too much. Excess moisture that has nowhere to go is just an open invitation for rot and fungal issues. And the last thing we want is to create a new problem while solving an old one.
And after 1 month, here's where we are. Now, I have to be honest with you. When I started this, I wasn't sure how quickly we'd see results. But look at this. One of our orchids has done something that honestly stopped me in my tracks. It has pushed out a brand new flower spike, and it is absolutely covered in blooms. Full, healthy, vibrant flowers on a plant that just a month ago was sitting there doing absolutely nothing. And our other orchid, while it hasn't bloomed just yet, the difference is still incredible. The leaves are thicker, glossier, and a much deeper green than when we started. New root growth is pushing through the medium, healthy, firm, white roots, exactly what we want to see. Both plants are clearly thriving, and all we did was stay consistent with our banana peel and eggshell routine every 2 weeks. No expensive fertilizers, no special equipment, just 2 things from your kitchen and a little patience. And that right there is exactly why I love this stuff.
And there you have it. A whole lot of proof that you don't need to spend a fortune to get your orchids reblooming. If this video helped you out, a like and a subscribe means more than you know, and helps me keep making videos like this. I'll see you in the next one.